Welcome to Ask the $50 Billion Man with high-performance executive success coach Dan Peña. The only show where you ask and you get complete, no-holds-barred answers. You want the truth? Can you handle the truth? Ask only if you dare. Head on to www.askthefifty-billionman.com to submit your questions. And now, your host, Dan Peña.
Hi, this is Dan Peña. Welcome to podcast number 13. We're going to answer a number of questions, but we're going to start off with some audio questions to begin with. Okay, roll it.
Hey, Dan. My name is Brad. I have two unrelated questions for you. First, you talk about passion a lot, but the Kirk Kerkorians of the world and the people that wheel and deal in assets, can you talk a little bit about what they're passionate about? Some of these guys have been in so many different industries. Are they just passionate about getting rich and doing deals, or passionate about particular industries? When you say passionate, what do you mean if your goal is to be the next Kirk Kerkorian? Second of all, unrelated question, if you were forced to start a business in the United States right now or start doing acquisitions in the U.S., are you really that afraid of a collapse? Or do you always see there's a way to make money no matter what happens to the economy?
Okay, the first question referenced passion. I happen to have met Kirk Kerkorian many years ago, and I know who he is. He used to be a great client, Bear Stearns, maybe still, well, he can't be now, but they're passionate about an industry. Some people are passionate about just doing deals. But hardly any of them are just passionate about making money. The second question, am I afraid of a downturn, a collapse, and if I was going to start over again in the United States? No. Because remember, I went from $800 to almost $500 million in a collapsing market. So QLA is based on making money in a collapsing market. No, I'm not afraid. Okay, next question.
Hello, Mr. Peña. Your QLA system is clear and easy to understand. It simply all makes fucking sense. I love it. But what is the weakness of QLA? What's the catch? I can't see any red flag.
There is no fucking catch. It is simple. Intellectually, it's simple. I'm glad that you figured this out. But unless you have the balls to do it, and unless you have the emotional bank account, you'll fail. That's the catch. You have two bank accounts, remember, emotional and financial. What keeps people from following their passion and their dream is their passion to be able to go through the hard times when your emotional bank account is low. So there is no catch. You got it right. Thank you very much. I appreciate the question.
Is the estate skipping tax the best way of bequeathment?
I believe that question means is estate planning, which prevents estates, large estates, from acquiring or having to pay large amounts of assets when they're dead, and therefore be able to bequeath on to the next generations. Yeah, it is the best, and that's what my estate is set up with, estate planning, and in my particular case, I have irrevocable trusts. The answer is yes. Okay, Mr. Peña, your wisdom is very similar to General George S. Patton. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do you find that in life and business, your experience in the Army has built you into the success you are today, more so than any university or mentor ever could? No. It has been part of my complement of tools, but it was actually the forefront. At the very beginning was the self-esteem my mom gave me, the integrity, structure, and hard work ethic my dad gave me, coupled with the first time I ever had a high-performance event occur that I was part of. graduating from OCS, Officer Candidate School. Then taking that to be able to go to university quickly, although in hindsight I didn't really have to go to university. But in my particular case, because I came from the barrio and there weren't too many kids going to school, I think it was important. I know it was important. And lastly, it was being able to acquire 3 world-class mentors. What is the role of emotions in success? And should we aim to pursue objectivity, absolute truth, and reason? Well, emotional bank account. If you don't have an emotional bank account, you're not going to succeed. And should we aim to pursue objectivity? Yeah. Absolute truth, I don't know what that means. And reason, no. A lot of the things, most of the things I've done are so far outside the box that they weren't considered reasonable. So no, the answer is no. How can I overcome my environment and take over as the creator of my goal in each instance? Well, you got to want it more than you can breathe. As the hip-hop preacher says, I can't think of his name now. You know, it has to be your lifelong ambition. Follow your passion, and you'll get it done. Through my 22 years, I've been praised by teachers, colleagues, and friends for abilities that seemed to come naturally to me. But my mental state lacked, and thus opportunities seemingly slipped by me. But I've made a commitment to hone in my focus, step forward and never accept barriers, and finally come alive within my true spirit. With the greatest respect for your time, what should I pack? I believe you mean, in other words, going forward, what should you pack? Well, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You should probably jettison most of the people that you're dealing with today in life. Just have a small suitcase. And that suitcase will contain your passion, your commitment, and your focus. Being a relentless achiever in business, health, and much more, if you knew you had the gift of immortality, but everything you built and those around you would eventually die, would you still approach life with the same tenacity and urgency you do now? Think about it. You preach that we don't have all the time in the world, but no matter what, you would not age or decay physically. You would always be alive. Would this be a curse to you, a gift or a blessing? Would you honestly live the same vibrance and approach to life as you have? What would be different? No, I wouldn't change a goddamn thing. And if you worry about shit like this, Stephen, I mean, you're probably fucked up. You know, I'm not going to say your last name, but I mean, this is way too fucking esoteric for a kid as young as you. I mean, you're not Socrates, you know, you're not fucking Einstein. But it is a gift and a blessing, and I would live exactly the same as I've lived now. I've only got 2 or 3 regrets. I've already talked about them. I'm not going to repeat myself, but you're wrong, and you're looking way, way too deeply into life. What is the difference between the success of Richard Branson and your own success? Well, Richard is a daredevil like I am, and he started with nothing like I did, but he was obviously better equipped to do some of the things than I was. I stopped the building assets for myself ladder when I left Great Western, when I was jettisoned by the shareholders, and I discovered my new passion. My new passion was getting you over the goal line, because quite frankly, I didn't find it so tough turning $800 into $500 million. And it's not that tough. You all are told it's tough, but it's just not. How do you tear down and rebuild a burned out person? Well, come to the seminar and I'll show you, because we tear them down every time we have a seminar, and we give them the tools. You can't rebuild a burned out person unless you give them and I hate using this term toolbox and tools in the toolbox, because it's become very prevalent and very human resources and politically correct to use. But we give you the tools. when you leave the seminar, as I say in the closing moments, you can never fucking say again, I didn't know. Because now you know how to do it. But that's how we do it. If you have a great lucrative career, yet it is not your passion, what is the first step to gauge if your life's passion will be as lucrative as your current career? Excuse me. There's no way to gauge. You got to take the emotional risk. But I can guarantee you one thing, you'll have regrets if you end your life having retired or stopped and continued with the current profession that you don't like. You'll have regrets. What is the most effective method to overcome one's limiting beliefs and would enable one to become a successful and not succumb to self-sabotage? What is the most effective method to overcome one's... Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I mean, the people that you're hanging around with, I'm sure, are self-sabotaging losers. That's how you do it. At the end of one's life, what would be the ultimate one-sentence obituary? For me, I did it my way. Mr. Peña, when do you feel it is right, if ever, to keep a business private instead of seeking funding, going public, and existing? If you don't want it to grow, and if you're happy where you are, there's no reason to seek funding because it's a pain in the ass. There's certainly no reason to go public, and there's certainly no reason to exit. I study my behavior, I study my history up to each day. I refine myself, my thoughts, and my approach almost daily. I know my passions, behavioral economics, ballroom dancing, and music. I thrive in the movement. I can't stop, or else I get sick. But I don't have what I believe I want. What the heck is my emergency brake? He's talking about release your brakes and what's keeping him back. Well, you've deluded yourself into saying that you're happy. If you can say, I don't believe I have what I believe I want, then you don't. Open your eyes, step outside your comfort zone, and follow your passion. You talked about we have 5 to 7 chances in our lifetime to make it. But with the information infrastructure of the 21st century, do you think that the cycle has shortened due to technology? No. Or that the essential process of building and floating a business stays the same and take as long? No, it takes about the same length of time. P.S. How would you position and adapt yourself if you were 33 again, from scratch, live in Hong Kong? I'm well aware that the last bit is idiocratic. Well, it wouldn't be any different than if I was in Hong Kong or I was in New York City or if I was in Dallas, Texas. I follow my dream. I do something that I do the thing that I'm most passionate about. In every moment, human beings are doing something, but be it working, watching television, or just breathing. If just fucking do it was good advice to help people live the life they want, wouldn't everybody already achieved it? Are you fucking stupid? Oh, God. Listen, kid. The reason they don't just fucking do it is because they have fear. Most people are cunts. And they're cunts because their parents trained them to be a cunt. They've been trained to fit in. Don't stand out. Don't show your initiative. Conventional wisdom. Political correctness. Are you fucking stupid? Given the recent and future media exposure of QLA, do you think the banking industry will attempt, this is a great question, will attempt to counter your tactics? Could this limit QLA's funding and success going forward? What is your contingency plan, Lieutenant? Great fucking question, kid. No, because the banking industry is too fucking stupid. They believe that they don't understand the drawbacks of how the financial system is so ingrained. They're not going to change. Not in my lifetime, and not in the next couple lifetimes. Believe me, don't worry about it. Just go out and just fucking do it. Great question, though. I feel like I'm destined for great things, but have no clarity for my path. How do I take action? Okay, well, destiny is a great thing, but if you don't have clarity for a path, it's because you have no passion and you're not following your dream. What are you passionate about? Then, when you find your passion, follow QLA and you'll be successful. How come Dan does not have a success fee approach to coaching since his techniques are so effective? Another great question. Because I want you to, I used to give all this shit away for free. You stoop. You're not doing your homework. I gave this for free. I gave everything for free. The seminars for free. In the 90s, in the late 90s, my success was shit. Because nobody had any skin in the game. And I thought I developed product because I thought if they had product and they didn't have to come to seminars. I thought all these things that didn't work. And then, in the last few years, I realized giving the product away, giving everything away, and telling them to go to torrent where it all is anyway now, was the way to go. And for those of you that want to go to the super heights, you have to pay a price to action. There are no free lunches. And you have to get skin in the game. That's why I don't do it on a success fee basis. I used to do it for free. Plus, the other side of it is, how would you like to chase thousands of kids on a success fee basis for all their success around the world? That model doesn't work. I'm already high on life. How can I get higher? Well, you can get higher by not associating with the people that are perhaps making you not as high as you could be. Imagine you're starting from scratch. You've got 3 potential ideas for your first business, but no time or money to spend messing around. How would you quickly validate which one has the most profit potential and is worthy of your full attention, and which idea you should toss aside as a crackpot fantasy? I start with the one that I'm most passionate about. Is destiny a myth, or a person can change the course of his life? Abso-fucking-lutely, you can change the course of your life, okay? Again, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Hello, Dan. I would like to hear you talk about affirmations. How do you use them? Could you give us an example? How do you practice affirmations, and what is an affirmation? Okay, let me start at the bottom. An affirmation is a statement of fact in the future that shows one of your goals coming to fruition. I used to say, and I recommend you saying your affirmations when you first wake up in the morning and just before you go to bed. I only do them when before I go to bed now. I don't say my affirmations in the morning, but for many, many, many years, I did it both times. Some people practice their affirmations 3 or 4 times a day. In my judgment, you cannot say your affirmations too many times a day. Give it an example. Okay. Let's say I want to lose 10 pounds. That's not too realistic for me since I've lost 70 pounds in the last several years. But I feel terrific. I feel great and excited seeing myself as I was when I was 40 years old, weighing 210 pounds. You make it in the time now. You see yourself in the affirmation, closing my eyes, time now. And even though you think it may take a few weeks or a few months to accomplish, even if you say billionaire, you want to be a billionaire, you see yourself in the affirmation time now, not 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road. Because your mind doesn't understand you saying it and it not being true now if your affirmation sees you in time now. Will you help me convert $1,350 royalty check into $400 million so I can tell everyone who said I wouldn't amount to much, old school headmaster, etc., to go fuck themselves? Look at the stuff on my site. It's all free. Go to torrent. And you too can tell them to go fuck themselves, like I did. I'm a college student. I feel college does not teach you drive and creativity, but simply how to just get by. I agree. Our culture says the only way to be successful and to get a good job is to pay a lot of money and have people teach you on business what they themselves know nothing about. College teaches you how to go by the book, but life does not follow the book. I agree. Therefore, students are not properly equipped with the tools to chase after their dreams. Am I wrong? Am I thinking? You're fucking absolutely right. Look at all the stuff on my site and you'll do great. How would you build a clothing brand? Well, I don't know much about clothing, but I would follow and model or mimic the most successful clothing brands and how they did it. Howdy. Do you know if they make any plugins to protect against hackers? If they do, I'm sure they do, but I don't know about them. I'm kind of paranoid about losing everything I've worked on hard. Any suggestions? I'd go to a more sophisticated techie than me to ask the question. Why are people so damn stupid? You got me, but they are fucking stupid, and they're stupid because of political correctness and conventional wisdom, and unfortunately how they were raised. Have you ever thought that in life we have a natural-born trait gift that schools or parents can't teach towards our passions that determines our potential wealth, whether physically, mentally, etc.? That being said, what do you think reality is all about? Yeah, we're born with certain gifts, and that parents can't teach us. But unfortunately, our self-esteem is built from 0 to 7 or 8 years. And who are we around those 7 or 8 years? It's our parents. But we all have traits. You know, my dad and my mother are not outgoing, gregarious people. I'm told that I'm an outgoing, gregarious person. So, we are born with certain traits. What's reality all about? Reality is what you make it, kid. Reality is what you want the most. And as long as it's honest, moral, and ethical, and not breaking any laws, just fucking go for it. Hi, Dan. The question is attached Microsoft document. I guarantee it will be pleasurable to read. Hi, Dan, or whomever may be reading this. This is the project, essay, and communication created in response to Mr. Peña's interview on Bulletproof show with Dave Asprey. He talked about the offering of the gift of the Castle Seminar for someone. No, I didn't talk about an offering for the gift of the Castle Seminar. I said you could compete by rendering a question. I was wondering if you could give me any insights into whether Dan has any religious or spiritual philosophies, if any. I'm just interested in Dan's guiding principles, and that has gotten him through the tough times. I'm not a religious guy now. I was raised a Roman Catholic. I was baptized and did my first communion, and I was confirmed in the Roman Catholic religion. My kids were raised Roman Catholics, but I don't go to church every Sunday. I support a few Roman Catholic charities. Amongst of the 5 things my wife and I support, 4 are Catholic, and 1 in Sri Lanka, 3 in the Philippines, and the 1 non-Catholic that we support is in Rwanda. We support a school, non-denominational school in Rwanda. My guiding principles and what has gotten me through the tough times, myself has gotten me through the tough times. My emotional bank account. And I would recommend, although I'm not telling you not to pray for guidance, but God helps those who help themselves. And my mentees that are priests and nuns tell me the very same thing. God helps those who help themselves. You mentioned that the healthcare and telecommunication industries have the most potential. For somebody who has no knowledge of an industry, how much knowledge do you need before you can take a dive? Where do you even start to research an industry that you have no knowledge in? Oh, God. Are you stupid, kid? The fucking internet. I mean, Rick Scott, the sitting governor of Florida today, was my lawyer many years ago, and he asked me, how do I make as much money as you? I told him, you got to leave me in either telecommunication or healthcare. He decided on healthcare at breakfast that day. That's how much research he did. And he built the largest healthcare company in the world, Columbia Healthcare. You go to the internet and you research healthcare and its various aspects of it. Dear Dan, you speak about how you have obtained finance in other countries. What if I and members of my team are all from the same country and don't have prior banking relationships with the bank in another country? Is the bank overseas likely to fund our deal? It depends on the deal, but it doesn't matter where you're from, really. If so, what sort of documentation are they likely to ask for from me and my dream team? They want the executive summary and the backgrounds, the executive summary and the profiles of the dream team, just like it says in the QLA methodology. Do you have any advice on this topic? I just gave it to you. One question that has come to mind is how do you handle or prevent, is probably a better question. How do you prevent going to a source of capital with a deal and they say thanks, looks great, like a great deal, and they go ahead and do it themselves without you and your financial dream team? You're worrying about shit that just doesn't fucking happen. That doesn't happen. Or with a financial dream team or management team they have already dealt with on similar deals. That's possible, but you should be giving them a non-disclosure agreement when you go to them. Have you encountered that before, and how do you project yourself against it? Protect. No, you can't protect against all downsides. Just go do it and find the finance. I'd have thought banks probably wouldn't do it, but venture capitalists may. You're right, banks wouldn't do it, and venture capitalists don't do it either. Particularly if the deal is of 100 million plus. Does this sort of thing happen? Not that I'm aware of. I've heard about it, but I've never been in contact with one deal that happened. If so, what can you do about it? You've got to take the risk. Grateful for your thoughts and advice. Everyone started somewhere. What was your first job and how long did it last? First job I ever had, I was about 11, 12 years old, I think. I worked on a big estate and I picked weeds for $1 an hour, which was high price then. I think it lasted one summer. My next real job was when I was 16 years old. I was a box boy for Vons supermarkets. I got paid $1.05 an hour, and it lasted about a year and a half. And my first paycheck was $241 gross. I just know that, and I had worked about. I went to work on August 10th, my birthday, because you can't work before 16, so I worked about 20 days, and I worked roughly $1.05 an hour, $240. So I worked 240 hours in 20 days. That was including some overtime, but I had a strong work ethic even then. This is great, Dan, but I have a hard time finding something I love. What is your best tip for finding your passion? If you can't find your passion, I can't help you. What is the person you spend more time with is undisciplined but makes a lot more money than you? Well, what if you, well, I'm not suggesting you steal the guy's idea, because if he's undisciplined and makes a lot more money than you, you're obviously in the wrong business. But you don't need to be around undisciplined people. I like your story, my friend, but you never got the story of why you're so honest. I will not be repulsed. And my answer is actually written here. It's a story too graphic to write, but the bottom line is I got a beating from my dad for stealing something that cost $3 when I was with him at a Big Five store, and I had $14 in my pocket. Yes, I'm a better man, a much better man. If I were to talk to you about the thirst of your heart, would that mean, what would that mean to you? Well, I'm thirsty in my heart for success for you guys. But I mean, you guys, me dragging you across the goal line, don't give me too much Mother Teresa compliments, because me wanting to be the best high performance coach that ever lived, you're that manifestation of me dragging you across the goal line to be that best that ever lived. But I try every day to be the best I can be. And that's what it means to me. I had this thought: alpha successes don't bother consciously with things like affirmations or the law of attraction as part of their daily existence. I don't agree with that. Rather, they know with clarity what they want and they go after it in full-throated, passionate way. I do that, but I do believe in affirmations, and I'm an alpha. Per your experience, am I correct, naive, or just mixed, or is it a mixed bag with different strokes for different folks? Obviously, not everybody uses affirmations. I can't tell you what Bill Gates, I know he has dreams, I know he has goals, I can't tell you what Warren Buffett, etc. But I can tell you that what's worked for me and for countless of my devotees and mentees. The ability of a man can create wealth beyond imagination. The ability of a man can create, yes, beyond imagination, true. Hi, Dan. Love your stuff. You are a true champion. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. 1, what is your opinion about Provigil or other medication which are helping improve brain performance? I have no opinion. As I said some time ago at Dave Asprey's biohacking conference, all you kids are trying to get high on life or get in the zone, and I've been high on life and in the zone most of my life because I believe it's power of the mind over the body, and I just do it. How much time on average takes for a dipshit to become a high-performing person after the Castle seminar? Immediately. That's what the mentor program is all about. And I beat you for a year. Do you agree that the daily affirmation can make a person non-sensitive to family problems, which could cause regrets later in future? No. Why do you do it, Dan? Why spend all the time working? What's the goal ultimately? I don't have to do it and haven't had to do it for a long, long time. I do it because I enjoy it. I do it because I want to be the best high-performance coach that ever lived. I want to be the Latter-day Saint Napoleon Hill of the 21st century. I do it because I want to leave that legacy. What's the ultimate goal? I just told you. Seriously, why don't more people speak like this? Fear or political correctness to avoid perceived social chastising. Effectiveness is all that matters in communication, correct? Yes. Message sent, message received, get result when you want it. That's correct. Why do you bother to answer questions from stupid gypsies and pendejo retards? Because they're part of the marketplace and they deserve to get the information just like everybody else. God give life, but anything like this, if anyone chose street from that. God gives life. Oh, God gave life, but is it anything like this, which I teach? If anyone chooses from that, or if anybody chooses from the QLA method. Now, God didn't give QLA. Dan, how would you feel if you could kick the ass out of every person who gave up on their dreams? How would you feel? I wish I could. You know, it sickens me that people give up too easy. You give up too easy. I mean that in a literal and figurative sense. I would hit them. I would. I'm a 13, 14, 15th century manager. I'd like to beat the shit out of you when you don't do it. In life, many of us go through defining moments which can be categorized as hard or tough times. How did you get through many of your tough times, and what was the recurring theme, thing, etc., on being able to get through those tough times? Myself. Belief in myself. Hello, Mr. Peña. You said that you work 15 hours a day. Well, in the day, I worked a lot more than 15 hours a day. My question is, do those 15 hours include your working out, your reading, and your affirmations? No. Do you include or see that as work? No. But I don't consider working as work. Or are those counted as plus? How do you find the balance between being patient and trusting finances will come, but not allowing yourself to be taken advantage of? Well, I don't believe that it'll just come. I have to make it happen. QLA is successful because the mentees make it happen. They don't wait for it to happen. I'm currently a motivational speaker. I go into schools and share my story of the tools I use to overcome my negative past and live a positive future. Now, in order to do this, I had to phone around and get into contact with charities who have contacts with schools, as when I tried contacting schools directly, it wasn't working. I have managed to gain access to schools through a charity called 180, but now I feel that they are making money on me by using me as a PR service for their charity. As soon as I finish speaking, the 180 worker I am with will immediately go to the teachers and explain the services they provide, which is a paid for mentoring program. I'm so happy that the children are gaining access to a service that could potentially help them, but I can't help feeling I am being taken advantage of. I don't want to force myself into finding a way to generate revenue for my speaking, as I believe it will come eventually if I continue to give as much as I can through public speaking and interacting with the children and teachers and seeing exactly what it is they need. The truth is, I'm really good at what I do. I'm a practice speaker who's been going to Toastmasters for 2 years. I'm 27 years old, young, black, good-looking, physically fit guy who comes from a rundown area in England. The kids relate to me. There is nobody doing this where I'm from. Maybe only one other person, but not in my area. I'm hot property. That means that the charity has even tried to avoid giving me the details to their other charities. So I'm not sure what to do, Dan. I will do something, but I'm struggling. How do you find the balance between being patient and trusting finances will come, but not allowing yourself to be taken advantage of? You're being taken advantage of, full stop. It sounds like you got a weak emotional bank account. Otherwise, you would have done something about it. God helps those who help themselves. I often hear that having a childhood full of struggle means that you are more able to be successful. Well, I have experienced this. Little money growing up, violence, parents being separate, crime, prison. But recently I've realized that this thought process has been holding me back, as I believed I was better than others simply because of I had been through. This took my focus away from working as hard as I could to be the best, as I already thought I had something special over the majority. Although my past has definitely made me a stronger person, I now realize that this experience alone is nowhere near enough to get me to success. Only by combining that difficult past with 100% commitment to working and progressing can I maybe, big maybe, get a jump ahead of these others. I'm reading all this, kids, because this describes a lot of you. I think it is important for people like me to know this, as I feel there is too much emphasis placed on just difficult background, and this can lead to complacency. So my question is, do you agree with this? And if so, have you ever fallen into this complacency yourself? No, no fucking way have I. And I don't agree that this describes a lot of people. What I said a few seconds ago, it describes people's excuse for not going out and getting what you want. Thinking that because you grew up in a poor and experienced life in the military, you were better than others, and therefore allowing that you thought the process to negatively affect your progress? Or is it just me that feels like this? It's not just you, but you're using it as an excuse. Are you successful? You must be approached with deals by high-powered people all the time. How do you stay focused on your own path when so many people are offering you great opportunities? I refrain from looking at other people's deals. I only look at my mentees' deals. I mean, I've got a lot of mentees, and they all have deals, so that's not really a problem for me. Additionally, and by the way, I have very few personal deals because my mentees' deals are my priority. Additionally, have you ever stopped a project you were involved in to accept an external opportunity? No, never. Once I start, I finish them. If so, what was the criteria for you to change? There isn't any. I'm a single guy, and so I try to date women, but the whole process is very time-consuming. Oh, shit. That's funny. Yeah, I remember. I keep hoping that there is a way to balance dating and work, but I'm starting to lose hope. So, Dan, do I have to quit women? Well, you don't have to quit women, but I'm not telling you what to do. I don't know who you are. But you can always date women later. If I do, when will ever be the right time? There's never a right time to make a hard decision, kid. As I can only see myself getting more and more consumed by goals, even when I'm successful. That's true. P.S. If I do quit females, nothing in the world ever has a chance of stopping me again. That's my weakness. Then quit. Is it okay to give yourself a pat on the back and acknowledge your progress, even if you haven't reached your goals? I don't. I don't need that. I don't need a pat on the back from myself or anybody else. Or should you always be cutthroat and never allow yourself to be happy with anything less than achieving what you set out? It's not a matter of being cutthroat. If that's what you think, then subconsciously what you're doing isn't right for you. In my view, the negatives of each are negatives are a pat on the back equals complacency. I agree. But never being happy equals depression. Well, there's a big difference between complacency and depression. If patting yourself on the back makes you happy, something's not right with you. Now, we've had a lot of good questions again. I can't emphasize enough how important these podcasts are to the kids, because we wouldn't continue to get the stream of questions we get. And I want you to continue to ask me. And even though some of the questions for some of you that are more sophisticated seem redundant and kind of dumb, some of them are. But I continue to answer the questions because they're being asked. And they wouldn't be asked if they weren't important. So I want to say goodbye for this time. God bless and peace.